You're standing in Target at 11 p.m., staring at a wall of diapers, trying to do mental math that keeps breaking your brain. If babies go through 8 diapers a day, that's what the internet said, and these boxes have 120 diapers. That's 15 days per box, which means 2 boxes a month. But wait, that can't be right, because that's only $60 and everyone says babies are expensive. So you're obviously missing something massive, and now you're sweating in the diaper aisle because you have no idea what you're actually walking into. I'm Dan, and I've been exactly where you are right now. If this video helps, hit subscribe because we're building something for dads who need real answers. Every dad does this panic math at some point. Every dad gets it wrong because nobody shows you the real numbers until you're drowning in receipts. This video gives you the complete financial breakdown for your baby's first year. Not the sanitized version. The actual cost across every category, including the expenses nobody warns you about. You'll get 2 budgets: bare minimum survival and comfortable breathing room, plus the saving strategies that actually work when you know what's coming. Because here's the thing, you can plan for $12,000, you can't plan for expensive. Let me give you the numbers I wish someone had given me. Point 1. The diaper and wipes reality. That mental math you were doing in Target? You were actually closer than you thought, and that's the problem. Newborns go through 8 to 12 diapers daily. By 6 months, it's 6 to 8. You're looking at $70 to $90 monthly just for diapers. Add another $25 for wipes because you'll burn through a pack every 4 days. That's $1,140 to $1,380 annually, just for containing bodily functions. This is the expense that never stops. It never goes on sale at the right time. You can't skip a month. This is the baseline cost of having a baby, and it literally goes in the trash. When people say babies are expensive, this is the foundation they're building on. Everything else stacks on top of this recurring bill that arrives, whether you're ready or not. You're not bad with money. You're just working without information. Now you have it. Point 2. Feeding costs, formula, or breast. Here's where the budget gets emotionally complicated. If breastfeeding works perfectly, you're looking at $200 to $400 for nursing supplies. Pump, storage bags, the equipment you didn't know existed. But here's what nobody tells you during pregnancy. 75% of families end up using formula by 6 months. Maybe supply doesn't come in. Now maybe she goes back to work. Maybe feeding becomes a painful struggle and formula is the relief valve that saves everyone's sanity. Formula costs $1,200 to $2,400 annually. Bottles, nipples, brush sets, sterilizer, burp cloths add another $150 minimum. You're potentially looking at $3,000 in feeding costs when you thought it might be free. This expense is brutal because it's tied to feeding struggles nobody admits are coming. She's going to feel pressure about this. She's going to internalize messaging that breast is best and formula is failure, which is garbage. But it's garbage she'll absorb anyway. Your job is to remove financial stress from feeding decisions. If formula makes life survivable, you find the money. This isn't the place to cut corners for budget reasons. The cost difference between breast and formula can break a budget you thought was safe. Plan for formula. Hope for breast. Don't let money determine how your kid gets fed. Point 3. Childcare. The nuclear option. This is the number that changes everything. If both parents work, childcare becomes your second mortgage. Infant daycare averages $1,200 to $2,000 monthly depending on your area. That's $14,400 to $24,000 annually. Nanny or nanny share runs $2,500 to $4,000 monthly. Let me give you the scenario that breaks people. You run the math together during her maternity leave. Her salary is $50,000. Childcare is $18,000. After taxes, she's bringing home maybe $32,000. Minus childcare, you're clearing $14,000 annually. That's $1,167 monthly. Suddenly, you're having a conversation about whether she can afford to work at all. This single category can exceed all other baby expenses combined. This is the decision that determines your entire financial reality for the next few years. And here's what makes it worse. You need to have this conversation during pregnancy, not during maternity leave when she's already bonding, and the idea of leaving feels impossible. Run the actual math together now. What does working minus childcare costs look like financially? What does it look like emotionally? What does staying home look like financially and emotionally? There's no right answer, but there is a wrong time to have the conversation, and that's after the baby arrives. Family help is free but comes with different costs. You know what I mean? This is a team budget decision that requires both of you seeing real numbers before emotions make the decision for you. Point 4. Medical expenses beyond insurance. You have good insurance. You're covered, except you're not completely. Even with solid coverage, budget $1,000 to $2,500 for first-year medical costs. Hospital copays for delivery, visit copays every few months. The unexpected sick visits when she spikes a fever at 2 a.m. and you're in urgent care by 3. Prescriptions for reflux or ear infections you didn't see coming. Then there's the stuff you buy in a panic. The humidifier when she's congested. The fancy thermometer that takes temple readings. The infant Tylenol you purchase at 3 in the morning because the store brand feels too risky when your kid is burning up. Insurance doesn't cover the thermometer. It doesn't cover the saline drops or the gas relief or the diaper rash cream. You'll try 4 brands of before finding one that works. Babies get sick more than you think they will. This is where good insurance still leaves you with surprise bills that hit when you're already stressed and sleep deprived. Now, you can't budget for exactly when this money disappears, but you can know it's going to disappear. Plan for $1,500. Hope you only spend $800.5. The hidden costs nobody mentions. Add $300 to $600 annually for the invisible expenses that make you feel crazy. Your carefully built budget works on paper, but every month you're $50 over and you don't know where it went. Here's where it went. $40 monthly in extra utilities because you're running laundry constantly. Your water bill climbs. Your heating bill climbs because you're keeping the house warmer. The endless diaper rash cream. Baby Tylenol. Gripe water. Saline drops. Gas drops. The products you buy to solve small problems that feel huge at 3 a.m. Extra car washes because spit up gets everywhere and your vehicle smells like curdled milk. The replacement phone after it falls on the changing table for the 100th time and finally cracks. These aren't budget line items. They're death by 1,000 cuts. This is the category that makes new parents think they're failing at money when really they're just experiencing the reality that babies are expensive in ways that don't show up in the big categories. You're not losing your mind. The costs are real. They just hide in transactions under $20 that add up to real money. Point 6. Gear and clothing, the one-time panic. The crib. Car seat. Stroller. Changing table. Bassinet. You're looking at $1,200 to $3,000 depending on new versus secondhand. Clothing for an infant who grows out of sizes every 6 weeks runs $400 to $700 annually because they blow through onesies like you wouldn't believe. This is where registries and hand-me-downs can save you thousands. This is also where fear marketing convinces you that your baby needs a $400 rocker to survive. She doesn't. She needs a safe place to sleep, a safe way to travel, and enough clean clothes that you're not doing laundry twice daily. You have permission to buy secondhand. You have permission to accept every hand-me-down offered. You have permission to register for diapers instead of decorative items. Buying used gear isn't failing your kid. It's financial intelligence. The expensive stroller doesn't make you a better dad. Being present does, and you can't be present if you're working overtime to pay off baby gear. The baby doesn't care if her clothes came from Target or a boutique. The baby doesn't know what you spent. The only person judging your purchases is you, and I'm giving you permission right now to stop. Buy what's safe, skip what's marketed as essential, and save your money for the recurring costs that actually matter. Point 7. That's the bottom line and banking strategy. Here's the number. Bare minimum budget without childcare, $5,000 to $7,000 first year. Comfortable budget without childcare, $8,000 to $11,000. With childcare, add $14,000 to $24,000. You're potentially looking at $35,000 for year 1 if both parents work and childcare is expensive in your area. That number is shocking. That's normal. Being shocked doesn't mean you're unprepared. It means you're seeing reality clearly. Now let me show you how to plan for it. 8 months before birth, start auto-transferring whatever amount gets you to your target by due date. If you need $6,000 and you have 8 months, that's $750 monthly. If you can only do $300 monthly and hit $2,400 by birth, that's your starting point. The habit matters more than the total. Even if it's $70 weekly, you're building the muscle of putting money aside automatically. You can't save for vague. You can't prepare for expensive. You can prepare for $8,000. You can look at that number, divide it by months remaining, and set up the transfer today. Will it be tight? Probably. Will you have to cut other spending? Yeah, but you're replacing anxiety with math, and math is manageable. Have the childcare conversation now during pregnancy. Decide together if working makes sense financially and emotionally. Don't wait until she's on leave and bonding makes the decision for you. Run the numbers as a team. What can we actually afford? What are we willing to sacrifice? What matters most? This is a team budget. You're both stressed about money, but she's stressed about money and growing a human and facing feeding pressure and career sacrifice conversations. The budget affects her different and harder. Show up for this conversation as a partner who did the research, who has the numbers, who's ready to plan together instead of hoping it works out. You're going to be fine. Not because babies aren't expensive, they are. You're going to be fine because you know what's coming now. You have the numbers, you can build the plan, you can set up the transfer, you can have the hard conversations during pregnancy instead of in crisis mode with a newborn. Standing in Target at 11 p.m. doing impossible diaper math, you felt the weight of not knowing what you were walking into. You were too embarrassed to ask anyone to just tell you the real total. Now you know. Now you can plan. The anxiety doesn't disappear completely, but it transforms from this shapeless monster into a specific number you can actually prepare for. You've got this, not because it's easy, but because you're taking it seriously enough to watch a 12-minute video about baby costs. That's the kind of dad who shows up. That's the kind of dad who plans. That's the kind of dad who figures it out. You're already becoming